Yeah, so discipline. That can seem like a rather dull word at first glance. It might not sound like the most colorful part of the leadership, but it's that steady rhythm underneath, like stepping stones, guiding your way forward. Chosen, not forced. It can bring up images of rigid routines or pushing through at all cost. Instead, I want to offer you a different take. When it's aligned with your values, your identity, and your direction, it becomes a form of devotion. It's a quiet promise to keep showing up for yourself and what matters the most, step by step.
Confidence starts inside of you.
When I record this, it's summer here in Sweden. And you can see it with my flowers here, if you're watching. And during this part of the year, when the usual pace might slow down, it's a perfect time to reset, to gently look on what habits are there that is truly helpful and which one that just keeping me busy and stuck. So if discipline would have a color, it would be a rather dark blue, a grounded, steady tone that holds depth and clarity. It's the color of alignment, the inner strength that doesn't shout out what shows up again and again. And if discipline had a visual, I would say that it's a stepping stone path, one step at a time. Thoughtfully placed, not rushed, not perfect, but consistent. Each stone a choice, a promise to keep walking towards what matters. Discipline isn't about force, it's about choosing your next step with intention. I have been journaling daily for over 15 years now. It's one of those habits that has become natural, as I almost forget it's in discipline. But it is. Every evening, I take a few minutes to reflect. What do I want to take with me into tomorrow? And what am I ready to actually leave behind? Over the time, this simple practice has helped me to sort out things through those pressure situations, learn from challenges, and hold on to what truly matters. It hasn't always looked the same. During my tougher seasons, I needed to focus more on what I'm grateful for or thankful for, what I'm proud of, things that really lifts me. Other times, I've used it to reflect more critically, asking what I have learned and what I want to do differently. Now, as an entrepreneur, there are definitely days I want to, give up. That's a strong word, but it feels like that sometimes. Moments when showing up for myself, my clients, and this mission really feels hard. But when I return to this practice and I get reminded to myself that this matters, I pick one thing to do, one next step, and that's enough to keep me moving forward. It's rather seldom that I go back and read what I have written, like written previous years or so. For me, it's something more to help me to be present here and now, and more importantly, to keep focus where I'm going. However, at least one time a year, I start going back in time and look on what I have been written and reflected on. That also gives me a good way to see the longer journey and not get caught in just here and now. It helped me to see the progress made. A client of mine, let's call her Amira, once said to me, I just needed more discipline. I need to stick with things. But when we unpacked it, she wasn't lacking discipline. She was stuck in habits that didn't actually support her. So we started small. Amira had 20 minutes walk between her office and her commute. So she began to use that time intentionally as a moment of reflection. On the way to work, she asked herself, What resource do I need today to show up as the best version of me? She named it. Could be presence, patience, courage, clarity, whatever felt true for that day. And when she arrived at the office, she wrote that word down and placed it on her desk as a visual reminder. During the walk, she had also visualized it and thought about how she can show this intention for the day in not just saying it, but also doing it. On her way home, the question shifted. So then she asked, how did I show up this resource today? And what other ways could I have embodied it going forward? And that opened a new space. She started to notice patterns, which conversation gave her energy, which decisions aligned with her values, what she wanted more of and what she could let go of. Discipline for her became a quiet act of choosing every day with intention. So before we go into the how, let's pause on the why. This is not about doing more or being more efficient. Discipline isn't about cramming your days with perfectly optimized habits. It's about creating space for impact. We're not striving for efficiency, we are aiming for alignment and impact. When choosing habits to build and maintain, zoom out and ask, and what supports me in showing up as the best version of me I want to be, in my colors and not watered down, not the see-through. As I mentioned in the previous episode, one of my core values is sustainable, but I also carry joy and development. That means I choose habits that reflect those values. Habits like regular movement, taking breaks to breathe, and yes, daily reflection. Reflection helps me to notice what I'm grateful for, what I learned, and how I can grow. It helps me to honor my energy while staying connected to what really matters. I also give myself a small cues for how I want to show up for the next day. A reminder of the experience I want to create for others. Often, it's simple by bringing more joy into the room to help someone feel seen and heard. Now, let's talk about how you can start your own version of this. Do you have a daily routine for reflection? Maybe you have had one before in the past, but drifted away from it. Maybe you already have something that works. Or maybe this is your first step. Wherever you are, let it be a moment for either begin, restart, or refresh your reflection routine. There are so many benefits of this. You will actually save time by getting clear on what matters. You preserve energy by letting go of things that drains you. And you will also interrupt those unhelpful thought loops and shift your focus to what you can actually influence. Reflecting is a way of reclaiming ownership, like saying, what is mine to carry and what isn't? It helps us to bring us to the attention back to what we can impact and leave the rest. Try a daily reflection habit, just for a few weeks. No pressure, no perfection. If you prefer to reflect in the evening, here are some questions that you can use. What is the general state I have had today? Pick a number between 1 and 10, where 10 is the best. What I'm thankful for, what I have learned today, and if something didn't go as planned, ask yourself, what will I do differently next time? You can also ask yourself, what resourceful mindset do I want to have tomorrow? By this, you start your day with more intentional way. So, if you want to start your day by starting with reflection, that's okay too. Maybe you are a true morning person. Then you can start in this way. what I'm thankful for right now. What resourceful mindset do I want to show up with today? What did I learn yesterday? And if something didn't go as planned, what will I do differently next time? What is most important to do today? And what is my current state between 1 and 10? If your state is lower than 7, then also focus on how you can improve that before heading into your day. If you want an explanation of this, listen to the previous episode where I go into that in more detail. So by this, it's an example of how we can build a real discipline. Not by forcing, but choosing. By aligning what we do with who we are and what matters most. So I challenge you to try a small reflection and notice what shifts. If you only have time for one question, then I suggest that you begin with what I'm thankful for right now. Do that for 30 days and then continue for another 30. See where it takes you. See what it leads to. You can reflect while brushing your teeth as the last thing you do before you go to sleep or first thing in the morning. So link this to something you already do and it becomes so much easier to remember. Keep it simple, and by connecting it with the routine you're already doing daily, that becomes an easy reminder. For me, for example, I have my journal just by the bed. So each time I go to bed, I see my journal, and that reminds me of doing the daily reflection. So if you are here on this part of the world, let the summer be a soft reset, a chance to zoom out, to sort things through and carry on only with that will support you. And if you want help in that, I have actually created a free guide to help you to start this habit. I have included those questions, ideas for different seasons, and encouragement where it can come to hand. You can sign up for it from the link in the show notes or through my Instagram. Try it for the next few weeks. Let it become your anchor. So when the darker days comes, you already have something strong and steady to return to. So thanks for joining me on the Confident Leadership in Color. If today's episode gave you something to think about, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, leadership isn't black and white. It's full of color, especially yours.
Inside of you.